6. Eagle Eye TV has done a great job.
Welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6.
We are just having a great time here in Auburn, Alabama. The party is not over yet.
Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Morgan Sims.
And I'm Brady Huneycutt. Thank you for joining us. The Fight Against Suicide, an amateur boxing exhibition where college students participate as boxers to bring the community together and promote mental health awareness. They had their inaugural event in Auburn last week at the Bottling Plant Event Center in Opelika. The Fight Against Suicide hosted events all week to promote mental health, including a seminar at Sigma Nu, the weigh-in event on Wednesday, and a free True 40 yoga class at Town Creek Park Pavilion on Thursday. Eagle Eye's Jack Sublett attended the big fight that took place later that day and tells us more.
We're here in the Bottling Plant Event Center here in Opelika, where behind me we're about to see the very first Fight Against Suicide here in Auburn.
For 5 years, the Fight Against Suicide has been on a mission to raise awareness for mental health. While not officially affiliated with Auburn University, Auburn students made contact with the organization to bring it here. We spoke with event organizers to learn more.
Yeah, the Fight Against Suicide was originally started in Athens, Georgia, and has since been brought to Bama, and now is for the first time in Auburn. It's a boxing philanthropy event, so we're bringing in a bunch of fighters. They've been training for months, and half of the proceeds are going to building a mental health wing at the East Alabama Medical Facility, and then the other half is going to Samuel Asbury Foundation in honor of a son who committed suicide in the past couple of years.
As the lights dimmed and the fighters entered their corners, the Fight Against Suicide's founder and director, David Edmiston, told us his story.
So back in 2020, I lost my best friend to suicide, and then I lost one of my pledge brothers to suicide in the same 10-day span. At that point, me and one of my best friends at the time, Will Smith, along with some other of my fraternity brothers, got together and we said, hey, nobody talks about suicide. We need to get all these guys in the room to talk about mental health. It's a lot to get a bunch of guys in a room to talk about their feelings, right? So we said, let's get a boxing event and then we'll backdoor the mental health into the cause, right? That's how it started. From here, it's branched out a lot of different ways. We support just general men's wellness, general women's wellness, as well as specifically suicide prevention. What we think is it's all tied together into one thing, right? Mental wellness and physical wellness are the same thing. They're just not quite looked at the same way, so we're trying to bring it all into one 360-degree wellness kind of take. Here at Auburn, we were really blessed. We had a really proactive team. A lot of times we do these events at other campuses, and it's kind of like we do it all. We were able to exceed our goal because everybody here, they wanted the event to come, right? And so they got a head start. And when they approached us, they actually said, hey, we have a venue, we have sponsors, and we'd like you to come here. And that's the coolest thing, to see the passion and energy behind it.
For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Jack Sublett.
Half of the proceeds from the event go towards East Alabama Health's Mental Health Center, while the other half will go towards the Samuel L. Asbury Foundation to promote mental health awareness. To learn more about their mission and future events, visit their website at thefightagainstsuicide.com.
Auburn University's Native American and Indigenous Alliance held their Spring Cultural Festival this past Saturday. I was able to cover the event, and here's the story. The Native American and Indigenous Alliance organization held their first Spring Cultural Festival, where their mission was to educate the Auburn community about Native American culture. The event kicked off with the grand entry, which includes traditional dancing and intertribal dancing, where people from all different tribes join together to perform a song. This is the first Native American and Indigenous Alliance Festival at Auburn University, with its main goal being to promote and educate the community about the Indigenous and Native American culture. Vendors sold and showcased their food, jewelry, personal art, carvings, and dream catchers, which were mostly all handmade from natural elements. Emily Day, president of NAIA and of Native American Heritage, wants people to know that Native American people have impacted our lives more than we may know.
Auburn is a land-grant university, and so that means we are on land that wasn't originally Auburn's land. So we're on Muskogee Creek lands. And so just to educate students in the community about who was here before us and that Native Americans are still here, because a lot of students don't recognize that Native Americans still exist.
Along with immersive experiences, many stories were told. Eric Sapernetti unveiled a story about the origins of the Uchi River an hour south of Auburn.
In the olden times, two Indian boys had gotten caught in the undercurrent and drowned, and they attribute it to the tie knot snake. And if you look up that myth, you can see the background of that.
One of the many successes of the festival was Nancy Massey's jewelry collection. She is vice chief of the Achota Cherokee tribe of Alabama and got to showcase a lifelong project of hers.
I've been making jewelry for about 10 years. I bought my shed 4 years ago, and it's my traveling pop-up jewelry box. And my mother influenced me growing up, and just stringing beads, we made jewelry out of all kinds of things, all kinds of elements. And I just love beadwork.
Wado means thank you in Cherokee, which was one of the many terms that I learned from different Native American tribes. So Wado for joining us, and for Eagle Eye TV, I'm Morgan Sims.
The African Students Association is proud to present African Cultural Week, a week full of African traditions and cultures. Their first event of the week was a Afro Gyration, which consists of Afro beats, a music genre that developed in the 1960s and 70s. At this event, there was traditional African music, face painting, and food that made the event special. This event started off as a week of immersive events like community advancement discussion, a taste of Africa, movie night, and culture night. President of ASA, Obayemi Joseph Awatunde, wants his organization's mission to be known to the Auburn community and beyond.
In terms of food, fashion, entertainment, and philosophy, the African philosophy, how can we bring all these experiences together and project Africa within our host community?
Feeling a little stressed out with the end of the semester and finals coming up? What a better way to release some stress than getting a visit from a man's best friend? On Tuesday, Eagle Eye's Ethan Clements attended a therapy dog visit in Thatch Hall hosted by Auburn's Psi Chi Honor Society, Tri Beta Honor Society, and the Neuroscience Club. Students in attendance were able to meet Soli, who is a therapy dog for Paws on the Plains, and learn the importance of therapy dogs in different environments.
So we're hosting a therapy dog visit today. The Psi Chi Honor Society, Tri Beta Honor Society, and Neuroscience Club collaborated to have Paws on the Plains come out with their therapy dog Sully, highlighting like the importance of therapy dogs for individuals who might have ADHD or autism or Down syndrome, and just how important that is. And Sully's awesome, so we've had a great time with him today.
The Auburn University Dreammakers recently announced a rebrand and relocation to East Alabama Health to serve infant and pediatric care in the Auburn-Opelika area. Eagle Eye's Ethan Clements got the chance to speak with outgoing AUDM President Tatum Mitchell about the change. Let's take a look.
This past week, I met with Tatum Mitchell, the outgoing president of the Auburn University Dreammakers, to discuss the organization's rebrand and how that may affect them heading into the fall.
So we have officially moved over to East Alabama Health and have officially become Auburn University Dreammakers. This came from a very long year of planning and discussion. It came from a unanimous decision from the executive board. And so basically all we're doing is transferring our raising funds and awareness over to East Alabama Health here in town.
I asked Tatum if the shift to becoming AU Dreammakers has changed the organization's mission at all.
Now we're going to work to better the NICUs within East Alabama Health, as they have a level 2 and level 3, and they really need to upgrade their level 2 so that they can have more beds and treat more patients within the town.
AU Dreammakers is known for their main event, which was hosted this spring, and the organization will host other on-campus events, with one large event coming this fall.
We'll host our main event in February, just like we always do. We'll have our push weeks in the spring and fall semesters, as well as we in the past have had Child Health Day, which has been Children Miracle Network affiliated, and so it's going to look a little different, but we do plan on hosting a big October event, kind of like we have in the past.
With Auburn University Dreammakers setting their sights on East Alabama Health, the organization aims to make a tangible impact within the Auburn community. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Ethan Clements.
After the break, Eagle Eye's Lucas Hazelrig will give you a weather outlook. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. My name is Lucas Hazelrig, here with your weather outlook for this week on the Plains. It was another hot day today, especially once the clouds gave way. Later in the afternoon, we experienced the high of 86 degrees. This weekend looks to be much of the same, with temperatures staying in the 80s throughout the weekend. We're expecting some storms on Sunday, with rain lingering into the day on Monday, to to go with the high of only 61. However, that rain will keep the rest of the week cool as high temperatures will hover in the 70s throughout the weekdays next week. Taking a closer look now at this coming weekend, Saturday is shaping up to be a perfect day to host an Auburn basketball watch party. The high on Saturday will be 86 degrees and cloud coverage will come and go throughout the day. On Sunday, things look a little more drab. Thunderstorms are expected to roll through the state with about an inch of rain expected in Auburn. The high temperature will be 73 degrees and winds have potential to reach up to 20 miles per hour. That's all that I have for you today. When we come back, we'll send you back to the desk for some national news. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
A protest occurred this week at the University of Alabama following the detainment of Alariza Durruti by immigration authorities. CNN's Jarvis Robertson has more.
Free Alariza! Free Alariza!
Strong feelings of support for Alariza Durruti. A statement from the Department of Homeland Security said that Durruti was taken into custody over, quote, significant national security concerns.
I'm really proud of the students that they did this and that they were able to bring this many people together.
The Horshocks live in Tuscaloosa and want to know more, just like many others, why Durruti is detained. Some feel what has happened to him is extreme.
It's very upsetting that a university student was abducted from his apartment by ICE and for no reason except for the fact that he is from Iran.
The people united will never be defeated.
He's a human being and I'm a human being. And when human beings are in distress, when they're oppressed, I want to be there to defend them.
Drew Scharfenberg is a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation Birmingham chapter and a UA grad student. He says international students should be aware of their surroundings.
Start organizing with political parties, and if that means having people accompany you to keep you safe, we keep us safe. It's not the police, it's not ICE to keep it safe.
Kayla Trice, a dual citizen and UA student, believes what happened to Durruti is disgraceful and calls it injustice. She understands why some international students would feel uneasy being on campus.
I say that they're correct in feeling that. They don't have to shake it. This political climate is crazy to citizens, to dual citizens, and to undocumented people.
Last week, the university released this statement saying in part that federal privacy laws limit what can be shared about an individual student. International students studying at the university are valued members of the campus community.
That's pretty generic.
Tuesday evening, New Jersey Democrat Cory Booker broke the record for the longest floor speech in modern Senate history. Booker's marathon speech surpassed that of the late Senator Strom Thurmond, which lasted 24 hours and 18 minutes in 1957. When Booker broke the record, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer interrupted the speech to acknowledge it, to the cheers of the Democrats in the chamber. Booker's address on the Senate floor began just after 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. It ended 25 hours and 5 minutes later at 8:05 Eastern Time. The senator was protesting actions taken by the Trump administration, saying the country, quote, is in crisis, end quote. His speech represents one of the most high-profile forms of protest by a Democratic lawmaker so far in Trump's second term. It comes as Booker and his fellow Democrats face increasing pressure from their voters to take a harder line against Trump. Monday evening, Booker vowed that he would keep going as long as he was physically able. A speaker cannot yield the floor for a break, to sit down, or to use the restroom. Doing so would allow the presiding officer to move on with Senate business.
President Donald Trump branded April 2nd as what he called, quote, Liberation Day. Wednesday afternoon, Trump signed his sweeping tariff plan, escalating what many analysts are calling a global trade war. Sherelle Hubbard has the details.
President Trump unveiling his new tariff policy to the world Wednesday.
The day that we began to make America wealthy again.
On what Trump named Liberation Day, he announced sweeping new tariffs in the White House Rose Garden.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
Aiming to redraw economic agreements with U.S. trading partners, Trump announced tariffs of at least 10% on practically all goods coming into the U.S., with even higher rates for 60 countries that have the highest trade deficits with the U.S.
Reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal. That means they do it to us and we do it to them.
Trump has already imposed 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports. A 25% tariff on foreign-made cars is set to go in effect midnight Thursday, and a 25% tariff on foreign auto parts no later than early May. Democratic lawmakers slammed the new tariffs even before they were officially announced.
At the end of the day, what we will see are costs go up for everyday consumers, energy costs, smartphones, cars. We will experience this, and largely on the backs of working class people who are just trying to get by.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
When we come back, Caroline Burrows will give you an update on the wide world of entertainment. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn News Leader.
Actor Val Kilmer has died at the age of 65. His daughter told the New York Times that Kilmer died Tuesday from pneumonia. CNN's Stephanie Elam takes a look back at his life and career.
From a quirky spy in the 1984 cult classic Top Secret
You guys really are cowboys.
to the intense fighter pilot in Top Gun,
You're everyone's problem. That's because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe.
Val Kilmer's film career took flight in the big 80s. But the slick performer trained at Juilliard honed his acting chops on the stage and saw his craft as a serious means of exploration.
Have you ever turned down something you regretted?
No, I don't really think that way. I just look forward. And also, what in the personal way, what I gained from acting, the opportunity to experience things that certainly you'd never do in your own life.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
In the 1990s, Kilmer explored the mind of Jim Morrison in Oliver Stone's The Doors. Critics praised him for nailing both the look and the sound of the late singer.
I'm your huckleberry.
2 years later, he played the pasty yet poised gunslinger Doc Holliday in Tombstone, and later a desperate construction engineer hunting lions in The Ghost and the Darkness. Along the way, Kilmer co-starred with some of Hollywood's heavyweights, like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in the bank robbery movie Heat, and played the superhero.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
As Batman in 1995. But it was an earlier collaboration on the set of the 1988 movie Willow, where Kilmer met co-star Joanne Whalley. They were married almost 8 years and had 2 children. Later in his career, Kilmer returned to the stage, playing Moses in The Ten Commandments, the musical. He also wrote and performed the one-man show Citizen Twain, taking on the persona of the great American storyteller. But under the makeup, the actor was dealing with grave health concerns. Kilmer downplayed cancer rumors, but then later said he had beaten the disease, which required a tracheotomy and left him with a raspy voice. In 2022, he reprised his role as Iceman in the Top Gun sequel, Maverick.
Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
Like the actor himself, his once boisterous flyboy character, subdued by illness, still commanded respect and even awe on the silver screen.
A principal goes viral for an epic April Fool's prank on her students, and an orangutan takes a timeout for a reading break. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Watch students get schooled by a principal's epic April Fool's prank. 11th grade students at Australia's Wollongong Performing Arts High School were gathered for an announcement from their principal.
This news will affect you all directly.
But little did they know, it was gonna be a doozy.
A mandatory Year 13 has been added to your educational pathway. And therefore, you will no longer be graduating in 2026.
News of an extra year of high school left the students understandably shocked and stunned, and Principal Kylie Woods deftly left them hanging just long enough before setting the record straight.
One other vital piece of information. Wollongong High School of the Performing Arts this year was selected to be a part of the 2025 April Fool's Day joke.
That you are most certainly graduating in 2026.
Speaking of news going over like a lead balloon, a massive metallic-colored inflatable was captured doing just that in New York City. No, it wasn't an April Fool's prank, but what was left after a recent high-profile event where EV manufacturer Lucid Motors adorned this meatpacking district building with a UFO-looking balloon to help them reveal their newest vehicle, which is called, and I still am not pulling your leg, the Gravity. I swear this thing writes itself. Finally, here's a written word fan who happens to be an orangutan, or orangutan, depending on your twang. The Memphis Zoo shared video of Jahe, one of their popular primates, leafing through a magazine in what they call an enrichment activity. It isn't Jahe's first exposure to periodicals. She happened to adorn one in a cheeky post the zoo shared for fun on social media back in January. And you know what? Faux or no, she looked fabulous. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
A movie based on one of the best-selling video games of all time arrives in theaters this weekend. David Daniel has the preview.
In the overworld,
wow,
anything you can dream about, you can create.
A Minecraft movie puts Jack Black and friends in the world of the game.
This place makes no sense.
Don't I know it?
The cast praised director Jared Hess and the production and art departments.
A lot of our sets were built up practically, so you could interact with everything, you could touch things, so I think that really helped us in our performance.
I mean, Jared just has such a good idea of, the movie.
We wanted the world to be very tactile and lived in and real, and so we built the sets that you see in the film. So it was really surreal coming on a set every day and being in a life-size, organic Minecraft forest or in a Minecraft village.
Before making the movie, cast members got into the game.
Took a few days of hardcore study to really know how to play the game. But once I cracked the code, I felt like I was able to communicate with my boys about it in a way that I hadn't been before.
I knew a lot of the older Minecraft stuff, but when I signed on to this, I definitely had to refresh my memory and update myself on all the new stuff that they put in.
Don't worry! I'm gonna cushion our fall with this water bucket! Release!
People can escape their real life and just go into this building world and make whatever they want, you know what I mean? And it's a community down there too, you can craft and build with people. And I feel like that's what people are looking for.
It's escape, and it's uplifting in a time when I think we could all use some.
Let's do this.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's all I have for you today in the entertainment world. Now let's send it back to Morgan and Brady at the desk.
This weekend, Auburn will play in its second Final Four in program history at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. The Tigers take on Florida at 5:09 on Saturday, and the winner of that will take on the winner of Duke and Houston in the national championship on Monday.
A prominent cybersecurity professor from the University of Indiana and his wife have abruptly gone missing and been fired from their jobs following a raid at their home by the FBI and Department of Homeland Security. A lawyer representing the couple has made a statement claiming that the couple has not been detained and has no pending criminal charges against them.
With the deadline for ByteDance to sell the popular social media app TikTok looming, Amazon has become the latest bidder looking into acquiring the app. The company sent a letter to Vice President J.D. Vance confirming their interest in the platform. Amazon bought the live video streaming site Twitch back in 2014.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for tonight, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Morgan Sims.
And I'm Brady Huneycutt. Thank you for joining us tonight, and War Eagle.